Summary of the most relevant national and international news of the day, here on ICI Noticias Canada. With its presenter Angelica Cifuentes. First carbon rebates to be rolled out by 2025. What Canadians can expect. Beginning in January 2025, Canadians will begin receiving their first carbon rebates of the year, known as the Canada Carbon Rebate, CCR. This program offers tax-free quarterly payments to help individuals and families offset the costs associated with federal pricing of carbon pollution. Payment dates for 2025, January 15th, April 15th, July 15th, October 15th of this year. Estimated amounts by province for the first adult, Alberta, $225, Saskatchewan, $188, Manitoba, $150, Ontario, $140 and a family of 4 receives $450. Canada must close off critical minerals to US to counter Trump, Singh. Canada's New Democratic Party, NDP, leader Jagmeet Singh, has urged the Canadian government to suspend exports of critical minerals to the United States in response to President-elect Donald Trump's tariff threats. Singh argues that this move is necessary to counter Trump's aggressive tactics and protect Canada's economic interests. Critical minerals, essential in the manufacture of modern technologies such as mobile phones, solar panels, and electric vehicle batteries, are strategic resources for both nations. Singh argues that restricting their export could put pressure on the U.S. administration to reconsider imposing widespread tariffs on Canadian imports. In recent remarks, Singh said, "Trump is a bully, and bullies understand only one thing: force. If he wants to fight with Canada, we must ensure that it hurts the Americans too." He also criticized softer diplomatic approaches, suggesting that trying to flatter them is a failed approach. Trump is not rational. Electric vehicle rebates stall after federal program runs out of money. Canada's Federal Electric Vehicle Incentive Program, known as IZEV, Incentives for Zero-Emission Vehicles, has paused operations due to high demand that exhausted available funds by March 31, 2025. Launched in 2019, the IZEV program offered incentives of up to $5,000 Canadian dollars for the purchase or lease of eligible electric and plug-in hybrid vehicles. Since its inception, more than 140,000 vehicles have benefited from these discounts. The pause in the program has created uncertainty among consumers and the auto industry, as federal incentives have been a key factor in the adoption of electric vehicles in the country. The federal government is expected to announce soon whether there will be an extension or renewal of the program, depending on the allocation of new funds in the federal budget. Quebec measles outbreak grows to 11 cases, authorities warn of thousands of exposures. The measles outbreak in Quebec has grown rapidly, reaching a total of 11 confirmed cases, public health authorities reported. This outbreak has generated significant concern, as it is estimated that thousands of people may have been exposed to the virus in several localities in the province. Here are the most important details about this situation. The outbreak began with an imported case linked to a traveler who returned from an area where measles is endemic. The rapid spread has been attributed to low vaccination rates in some communities. Authorities have identified multiple locations where people could have been exposed to the virus, including hospitals, schools, shopping malls, and public events. Symptoms of measles include high fever, cough, conjunctivitis, white patches in the mouth, Koplik spots, and a characteristic rash that begins on the face and spreads to the rest of the body. People are urged to check their vaccination status. The triple viral vaccine, MMR, is highly effective in preventing measles. Doug Ford hints at early election in Ontario. In recent months, there has been speculation that Ontario Premier Doug Ford may call an early election before the scheduled date in June 2026. This uncertainty has been fueled by Ford's evasive responses when asked directly about the issue. In a recent public appearance, Ford was questioned multiple times about the possibility of bringing forward the provincial election. The premier avoided committing to a specific date, which has increased speculation about his intentions. Half of Canadians are $200 or less away from being unable to pay their bills, surveys show. A survey conducted by Ipsos for MNP Debt reveals that 44% of Canadians have $200 or less left at the end of each month, after covering their debts and basic expenses. Of the 44% mentioned, 17% report having between $1 and $200 available, while 27% indicate they have no monthly surplus. Women, 48%, are more likely than men, 39%, to find themselves in this financial situation. Generation X, 48%, faces greater financial challenges compared to millennials, 43%, and baby boomers, 40%. Ontario, 48% of residents have $200 or less per month. Quebec, 45% are in this situation. British Columbia, 36% of respondents report similar constraints. Canadians rate their personal debt situation an average of 6.5 out of 10. 40% rate their financial situation as good, scores of 8 to 10, while 15% rate it negatively, scores of 1 to 3. Canada Post has increased the prices of its stamps. Starting January 13, 2025, Canada Post will implement an increase in regulated postal rates, raising the cost of stamps by approximately 25%. Individual stamps, the price will increase from $1.15 to $1.44. Stamps and booklets, rolls or panes, the cost per stamp will increase from 99 cents to $1.24. Rates for U.S. mail, international mail, and services such as domestic registered mail will also see average increases of 25%. Canada Post argues that this adjustment is necessary to offset rising operating costs and maintain the viability of postal service across the country. The company has pointed to a significant decline in the volume of traditional mail, which has fallen 60% since 2006, from 5.5 billion pieces to 2.2 billion in 2023. Households' average annual spending is projected to increase by approximately $2.26 due to these new rates. Small businesses, an annual increase in their postal costs is estimated at approximately $42.17. Canada's place in new U.S. proposal to restrict exports of artificial intelligence chips. The United States has announced new restrictions on the export of advanced artificial intelligence, AI, chips and related technologies, aimed at limiting access to these capabilities by countries considered adversaries, such as China. Country rankings and technology access, unlimited access countries, allied nations including Canada, the United Kingdom, Germany, Japan, and others will have unrestricted access to the most advanced U.S. AI chips and technologies. Limited access countries, some countries, including Brazil, Israel, Mexico, Portugal, Singapore, and Saudi Arabia, will be able to purchase up to 1,700 units of the latest AI chips without special permission. For larger quantities or to build large-scale data centers using U.S. technology, they will need to apply for specific licenses. Countries with restricted access, nations under arms embargo, such as China, Iran and North Korea, are prohibited from obtaining advanced chips and cutting-edge AI models. As a close ally of the United States, Canada is among the countries with unrestricted access to advanced American AI technologies. This means that Canadian companies and entities will be able to continue collaborating and acquiring cutting-edge AI hardware and software without facing the new restrictions imposed on other nations. Your opinion matters. Subscribe and follow us on our YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook platforms as ICI News Canada, to always be informed with the most important news and in-depth analysis. Thank you for choosing us as your trusted source of information.